Call your sponsor.
Call you sponsor. Call you sponsor. Call you sponsor.
So good. And I just heard this one about 20 minutes ago, so it is fresh. This girl was talking about her son's Little League team. And the coach that's coaching them is like some Buddhist aficionado, right? And so the kids get up there to swing at the thing during practice, and when they miss, they look to this coach, and the coach goes, "Who cares? So what? Who cares? So what?" And then it gives them the confidence to get back up there and do another one. And if they miss that one, who cares? So what? And she noticed that she started doing that to herself. Like, oh, I was supposed to call that person back and I didn't. Who cares? So what? Oh, I was supposed to pick up my dry cleaner and I told that friend I would bring him something, but I didn't do it. Who cares? So what? I'm like, I am using that for my Tumblr when all the thoughts come and they tell me, like, who were you kidding? Who did you think you were? Why did you think you were okay? You just haven't been looking in the dark corners of the room and you're not doing it good enough. Who cares? So what?
Wow, that's really powerful.
What are you doing in the hallway? What happens when you're in the hallway?
Well,
How do you cope?
There's so many things. I'm imagining a Buddhist monk in a robe.
Right, with Little Leaguers.
With the Little Leaguers, like literally sitting on his zafu saying, "Who cares, so what?" or whatever he's saying. But I'm also really present to this like double entendre about this like Tumblr. I'm in a Tumblr, formerly known as the hallway, and like to be tumbled and tossed about.
Right. And how do you find peace with that?
Well, I guess for me, realistically, what's happened for me is there's two things. One is I find myself just getting exhausted that I just need to surrender, right? Where it's like, okay, like one of my sponsors used to say, we don't need to get your entire life in order today, because I used to forecast the future. What about that? What about that? It used to just be like, I used to go global. So, this thing of, surrender, like literally running myself ragged that I just have to exhaust and then be exhausted, right? And tire myself out, sick and tired of being sick and tired, that type of, I literally would wear myself out. And then I think the second thing is this idea of service. Like,
say more.
When all else fails, working with another alcoholic always saves the day. I think it literally says that in the literature somewhere. Our constant thought of others and how we may help meet their needs. So that has, I think, been a way to deal with it. I'm in a hallway of sorts. I think I'm always in a hallway. Like I'm always in transitioning or Tumblr, shall we say. And it's sometimes I'm more aware of being inside than not, with more major life changes than the usual day-to-day type stuff.
Okay, well, I have feedback.
Okay,
you ready?
Tell me. Yes.
So I do not see you always in the hallway. I do think that is a characteristic of us, that whenever we're in something, it feels like this is the way it's always been and this is the way it always will be. And I see you having opportunities for Tumblr hallways, because that means that you're growing. Like people who... You grow in that Tumblr hallway. Everybody's growing. You're getting the magic dust. You're getting like the best work is being done when you're in there. Everybody's resistant to it because it doesn't feel great. But on the other side, we've grown so much more. And again, like I say, if you're not being put in those situations, somebody doesn't trust you. But you get trusted to be in them. So do I. And I resist with everything. And then I get in there and magic dust happens and I get out the other side out the window and I go, and I don't, right before that window comes the surrender. Right before that window comes, I'm exhausted. I can't do this anymore. I go, okay, whatever. Who cares? So what? And I go, oh my God, it's like fresh air. This is so great.
So I'm getting misty with Misty. I didn't bring any
I love
tissues
it.
for this session. So thank you so much for reflecting that back to me. And I guess what I'm really, really present to is it's really effing dark in the Tumblr.
Yes,
And
it is.
I really just want glitter and unicorns and fairies and butterflies all the time. And I think that for me is part of the alcoholism and for me using, is because I couldn't cope with any of these other feelings.
Yes, that is so good. Oh my God, so good. Somebody called me yesterday and said, I'm really hurt that this person did not invite me somewhere. And now they've invited me somewhere and people are going to be there. And how do I show up and not let this anger and hurt that they forgot to invite me in the first place ooze out? And I said, that's not a thing. We don't have an answer for that. What you do, how do you not feel the way you're feeling? Go drink and drug. That's the only solution I have for that. How can you give yourself permission to show up and curse all those people out and love yourself? That's where we're getting to. How can you show up and be mad and sad and hurt and still love yourself? That's where we're getting to. How can you say, I don't know how to show up without being hurt and sad, and I think what I need to do is just not go because I can't deal with how it would feel to be hurt and sad there, and so I'm going to take care of myself and stay home. We have solutions for that stuff, but we don't have a way to show up and make it look like we're feeling different than we are other than drugs and alcohol.
I love that. I have a question, actually.
Yeah.
What do you consider powerlessness a feeling? If you were like to pick a feel, there's all those feelings charts and stuff. And if so, are you, well, I guess what I'm getting at is what are your top feelings that you find the most difficult to actually sit and feel or deal with?
Yeah, this is really good. That I might be wrong. I don't know what feeling that is. That I'm, I think one of the difficult ones is that I'm a failure and I'm the last one to know it. So shame, I guess that would be shame. But something you said there, the powerlessness. So I love what it talks about in the 11th step in the 12 and 12, where it says, it is when we align our will, our thinking, with God's will, loving thoughts, that we begin to use it rightly. So I am not supposed to be in the rooms and be like, oh, I'm powerless. Oh, God didn't give me that job. God didn't. It is aligning my thoughts on a higher plane in accordance with a loving God so that I'm not powerless anymore. And I don't just turn it over to a God and then blame God that it's not working out. I have some power. I don't have all the power, but I have some motherfucking power.
Yes. And in 2, it's just coming to me now. In 2, it says lack of power was our dilemma. Of my own, it was not enough. I needed to have a spiritual experience.
Exactly. And we can get a lot of support from a group as a whole, but not from another person. And here's another thing. Other people are supposed to fail me so that I remember that they are not my higher power.
Ooh, that's a good one. Wow, this was a really powerful, talking about powerful conversation.
We have all the power.
I feel like I've been on an emotional roller coaster.
You've been in a tumbler, babe.
I've been in the tumbler. I'm waiting for the damn glitter.
The glitter's happening. It's happening. You just can't see it.
I want to see it. I want to experience. I'm wondering what color.
We got to shove you out that window first. You'll see.
What is the color? What is the cadence? I just want to see the sparkle.
Is there a pattern? Did you do it right?
I know. Did they do it right? Yeah, surely be one of the questions when I get out of this damn tumbler. Listen, we're coming up to our final 5. And do you have a question? Do you want me to ask a question?
No. You've been on question duty. It's time for me. Let me ask you. What are you inquisitive about today?
I am inquisitive. This goes back to another conversation that we had about what does God want? And I don't know if you remember this conversation, but it was that we had a conversation about God, and I was talking about what God, my understanding of a higher power wanted. And you had said, your understanding of a higher power is that God doesn't want anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so that has been something since this, I don't even know when that was. It was a bit ago now. And I meant to talk to you about this, and it literally has been coming up on the daily. So thank you for sharing that, because there's more inquiry and curiosity instead of knowing.
I love that.
And I don't know is the whole point. And I think that for me, that space is like the sweet spot, and also super uncomfortable, because I just want to know. I want the sprinkles. I want the glitter. I don't want, it's like, I don't want what I have, basically. I don't want to be in the tumbler. I want to be the glitter. I want everything else, basically. So yeah, that's what I'm being inquisitive around, the connection with the divine and with the universe. And is there a want? What is the want? Can I just be here? Like, all of that kind of inquiry. So more spiritual inquiry right now. How about you?
Well, first of all, that makes me want to cry. Because that is exactly. That is my favorite place when I'm going through it, when I get to that sweet spot of surrender, where I let go of my attachment to the results, and I can say out loud, I don't know. Like, that is such a beautiful place where I can say, I don't know, and it's uncomfortable. It's like, we're almost at daylight. We're almost at daylight at that point in my experience, when I just finally go, okay. And then what am I inquisitive about? I'm really inquisitive about, terrible thought just came in my mind, which is how can I develop more of the pause without doing meditation? What can I take? I don't want to do 20 years of 20 minutes morning and night. I don't want to.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to journal and do all this stuff, which I do. I go through periods of it and periods of rebellion.
Yes.
And then I want a quick fix of my brain having a pause between my ego getting butthurt and me sending emails, right? Which I'm not doing exactly, but I do. We're close.
So am I hearing you say you are not really down for a process, and you're more down for just like a pill or like a instantaneous situation?
Sam, this is breaking news right here on this podcast. I'm an alcoholic. I want the shortcut. I want the easy way. I don't want to work hard. Everybody stop making me work hard.
I identify minimal effort, maximum results, or actually 0 effort, all results. Yeah.
Oh, I just saw this one on a thing. They were like, whatever your thing that you do to procrastinate, that should be your job title, or that's what your career should be. And this guy was like laying in bed and rotting.
Yeah.
That should be my career. And I'm like, thumb scrolling up, that should be my career. Do tell more. So.
Oh my goodness. This was powerful. Pun
so
intended.
So much fun. You're so fabulous. And we'll be tumbling away. And bitch, call your sponsor.
Call your sponsor. Till next time.
Bitch, call your sponsor.
Call your sponsor.
New
Call
episode
your
tomorrow.
sponsor.
Send us an email bcysponsor@gmail.com.